Hi everybody, welcome to my new Simutrans video. I'm glad you're interested in playing Simutrans. It's a really fun game, and I'm hoping to teach you some of the techniques and tips that I have gathered from playing this for a very long time. For those of you who don't know what game this exactly is, it's Simutrans, but the specific version is Simutrans Extended. And this is the version that I think everybody should be playing. If you want like light Simutrans, don't if you want light Simutrans Extended, don't play regular Simutrans, just play OpenTTD. Simutrans Extended has a lot of awesome features that OpenTTD and regular Simutrans does not have, and that's why I play it so much. It's a really I think it's very realistic simulator. There's a lot of cool features. To learn more about that, you can check out the Simutrans forum. Anyways, I am going to be focused specifically in this video on a urban transportation system like you see here, this one line and this train going down it. Here it is. I'm going to be focusing on how to build and operate one of these in a city. So for some of you this might seem really simple, but I actually just learned out how to do it. I just learned how to do it properly, and I am looking forward to sharing with you how to do it, and maybe it will inspire you to build one of these in your city. So as you can see, I have this main central station with platforms and lines going out to the suburbs of my city, and this urban transportation line, it is very helpful in getting people from the main dense city to the station. I used to have lots of buses, but now that time has gone on and lots of people are beginning to own cars, the buses are often caught in traffic, and they don't arrive that often. They get bunched up at railroad crossings. Buses are very useful in a lot of ways, but once you have a dense city like this, you can probably afford to build a transportation like metro line, essentially is what this is. It's like a monorail. And I am going to show you how to do that soon. I'll give you one little final view. Maybe in some other video we can go over the specifics of my awesome region. It's kind of modeled after some Japanese urban region. So up here, well, first I'll show you I have this high-speed rail thing going on. It's going to connect that big city with this little city, relatively little city, far away from my main urban conglomeration. So let's put this on normal speed, and I will show you exactly what I'm going to do as far as building an urban rail line. So when you are connecting a city, like an inner city in Simutrans, you will see places like this, the football grounds, the sports grounds, and some other attractions. I like to connect the sports grounds because they gather a lot of people. There's a lot of demand for people to visit these places, so they are very good initial places to connect with, either with a bus or with a train line. Sometimes when I build train lines, I make a station right at like a sports field. Even if it's still really close to downtown, I'll build two stations, one at the sports field, one in downtown, because lots of people are going to be going to these sports fields. So as you can see, I'm just kind of dragging this viaduct along. I'm just using the cheapest viaduct. You don't need anything special. In fact, if there was even an even cheaper viaduct with an average speed of 100 kilometers an hour, that'd be fine. You don't need it to be very fast at all. And we're just going to drag it downtown. Let's see. So when you're planning a route, you want to have it be relatively straight and not have so many twisty turns. You don't want to like this, like one turn here straight away, one turn here. You just want it to be one solid turn, because though these trains that we're going to be using on this line are going relatively slow, they're still going to be dropping down to like 35 kilometers an hour to navigate these turns, and we don't want that. We want a smooth, continuous journey. So to do that, let's see, I think I will delete this building, and that will let us build a nice curve right there. And though we do have a tight turn right there, it's okay. And let's see, let's delete this building too, and we will go around and come back right here. connect our lines. This is just a basic viaduct. It's not that expensive. And we will build some stations. And our stations actually only have to be 2 blocks long, and you can probably get away with doing just 1 block because there is a light rail train that uses just 1 tile, and it can hold maybe 200 people. It's not a very comfortable journey, and you'll see that in the stats, so people aren't going to ride it for a long distance, but it is there, and it is very suitable for this job. Okay, so there's our stations. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stations. So now we need a passing place, because we're only going to have 2 trains on this because it's a pretty short journey. It's a pretty short track, and we don't need anything special. We don't need a big... well, first of all, we don't need to double track it for the whole way. That would be totally unnecessary. Okay, so I built just a little passing place, just 2 tiles. We're also going to, importantly, do this. One-way signs going this way and this way. Then we're going to build this, what's it called? The mechanical signal box small. We can just build it right next to our passing loop. And then we're going to pick the token block signal. Put one here, put one there. So the direction of the light is the direction that the train's going. So when the train can see it, then it will obey it. If it's coming the other way, it will not obey it. That's why we have these one-way signs, to make sure the trains are looking at the signal when they go past it. So what will happen was a train will start here, livestock, and a train will start here at football ground. This is called rugby pitch, and they will meet each other at this passing loop. And since I think it's about in the middle of this thing, roughly, they will have to wait for just a minimum time, just a small amount of time before they can continue on their way. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. We also have to build a depot. And one fun thing about Simutrans, that's maybe not as fun at first, but depots are a big expense in the beginning. So you have to plan it very carefully. And that's not the case in OpenTTD, where depots are pretty cheap and you can just build them anywhere pretty much. But for the first, the first couple of years that you're going to be playing this game, the first couple game years, you're going to just want to have 1 depot because you can't afford to build another depot. This is the electric railway. It's 10,000. And though that is cheaper than the modern traction railway, which is like diesel trains, the electric railway, of course, requires you to build an electric system on your tracks. So it does not exactly even out. And you'll only want to build, electric trains later when you have more money and you actually need them. For the initial time that you're playing, that you start the game, like saving money wherever possible, just using diesel trains is totally fine. They're not that slow and inefficient compared to the electric trains. So see, I am laying out the stops. Now here, because there is not a passing track with 2 stations, with two platforms, it's just a normal passing loop, we can just click mirror schedule. Promote to line. There it is. Copy convoy. Now, let's speed things up. Start. There goes the first one. And we'll be able to send the second one like right after it. Okay, there they are going down the track. Stop at the convoy. All right, and see, it's going to wait for it. There we go. And now the next time they meet together, it should... There we go. I think it's working. Now let's click on our train to make sure it's traveling at a reasonable speed. Good. It's not using drive-by sight. It's obeying the signal. So see, it has full control of this stretch of the line, and so it knows it can go as fast as you want. and you only need 2 signals, which in the beginning of the game you'll appreciate because that's very cheap. Alright, there it goes. Going at a good speed. I guess this one has to wait for a little bit of time to let the other one go by, but it's really not that much. So the way these signals work as what is the name of it? It is the token block signal. I am not very good at the signals. There are so many options, and I know there are some cool tricks you can do probably, but I don't really know much about them. I think they're pretty confusing. But I do know how to use the token block signal, and that's the one with the light and the little cabinet thing next to it. So it's a combo thing. Now, what it does is when a train passes it and it gives it the green, that means that the whole stretch of the line ahead of it forever is reserved for it. Forever until the next signal, if there is one. But if there's no signal like this, then it means the whole line is reserved. This section on. And so the train can go as fast as it wants on there. It can go to its maximum speed because it knows there's no other train there. And this is very useful because another train cannot come on here, and also the stations do not require signals. Now, if you're using the regular signal system, like the stop signal system or the new advanced one, the panel signal box, if you're using those signals, you need to have a signal after every station, or the train will just use drive-by sight, which is very slow. But this token block signal gives it the ability to go to its maximum speed the entire stretch of the line. Okay, so it's working pretty well. I would also advise you to, let's find our new line, line 52. We need to change the prices to very low. Now people are really going to use the line. People are really going to use the line because it's so cheap, and that's what we want. We want people to just get on, go across town, patron our line. Also, I'm pretty sure you do make more money if you set it on very low. All right. Now, if you're still listening, maybe you're interested to know about the other... let's go out of this screen. Let's look at our beautiful city that is now connected by an urban line. It's great. People can get around. They don't have to drive their cars. They don't have to take the bus. When I play this map later, I'm going to build some more bus lines to connect the smaller corners of the map, like this one right here. Get everything else connected. But what's important is we have a big, high-capacity urban line to kind of centralize everything. All the buses can meet at these stations and just offload people who can continue on. And someday I will, when I finish the high-speed line's down here, when it finally makes it into the town, it can terminate right here at the football ground railway station. That's a great place for it to terminate. All right, so as I was saying earlier, I was going to show you, or I was going to talk a little bit about the other options you have for building a urban metro system. Simutrans does come with a special tunnel called the tube tunnel, and that is kind of a small version of a rail tunnel. It's built only for subway trains. And when I mean subway trains, the way to make a subway train is you build an electric depot and you have the DC fourth rail electrification option. And that is what the subway cars use. And then, so we're going to look at electric units. And see these two? They have a special attribute. If you look down in the stats list, it says may use tube tunnel. Just these two trains. You can see that they're a bit smaller than the other trains, and only these two can use a tube tunnel. Now, that's very important because a tube tunnel costs a lot less than a regular concrete tunnel. So see this concrete rail tunnel, which any train can use, it costs $30,000 a segment. Wow, that's really expensive. And this tube tunnel costs almost $10,000, so that's a third of it. And that is really good for us because we can build one of those. You can make a very long line for like a third of the cost, right, of a normal tunnel. And those trains can run on it. So then you have a subway system. I kind of get the feeling that a subway system's kind of unnecessary for me and for most players because the subway cars can hold so many people, and there's just really not enough people on this map And this is already a pretty big map, and it's kind of starting to strain my computer's resources just in the beginning. But as you get bigger, your computer will go slower as more cities, more vehicles are simulated. And at that point where you would actually need a subway system, your computer is probably just going to be running so slow that it is not even that much fun to play the game anymore. But you can still build it and try it out, and they are useful in some situations. I like to build these above ground metro lines because they're kind of like monorails, and they're kind of lower capacity, just a straight line, and that's all I need. You can use the same technique that I showed you with the token block signals. You can use that, I'm pretty sure, with the subway train. So then you only need one subway tunnel. You don't need to double track it, just one subway tunnel for most of the segment. Okay, anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or criticisms about my lack of preparedness as far as writing these videos, yeah, just feel free to leave a comment. I hope I've inspired you to do something cool in Simutrans. And check out the Simutrans forum for more information. If you have any questions, you probably do. There's lots of little weird things with this game. But if you have any questions, yeah, check out the Simutrans forum. Okay, all right. Thanks for watching. Bye.